No news is good news unless you're a journalist. But according to the chairman of the Bar Council, this year has seen no burning issues. The profession, he said, is stable. The highlight has been the Legal Services Act, something which David Dumas QC described as major modernising reform, but which he conceded was moving slower than envisaged. Today's was probably the last address from a Bar Council chairman. As part of the legislation, it will now become the Law Council to include compulsory members.
It'll include all government lawyers, it'll include all in-house lawyers working in industry in Gibraltar, it will include legal executives and law cost draftsmen. So whereas now there's a catchment of over 200, that's going to increase. We don't know exactly by how much, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was another 40 or 50 members.
Also as part of the legislation are new conduct rules to address the fused profession on the Rock.
It's been a problem in all my years of practice when we've had to look at the conduct rules. We start with the bar rules in UK, then realise that the work that we're considering might be being carried out by us in our capacity as solicitors on that side of the fused profession. So then you've got the SRA rules from UK, and sometimes there's a gap and you fall between two stools. At other times you don't get a clear picture and you're not quite sure which one to apply. So everybody's tried to do their best. Ultimately we needed a new one. We needed one purpose-built for Gibraltar, and that's been done.
Opening the legal year, the Chief Justice spoke of the increase in the court's work volume, saying it was difficult to balance the diary under a three-judge system. The courts, he said, had to meet all jurisdictional needs and not just the finance centres. He highlighted the reduction in court staff, saying 6 posts had been unfilled for a long time, with the pressure on the admin staff not sustainable. GBC understands this has been addressed, as have the difficulties in obtaining psychiatric reports, an issue also highlighted by the CJ. These issues, he said, should, however, be solved in a timely manner and without the need of ministerial intervention. For his part, Attorney General Michael Llamas QC spoke of how much of his time and effort Brexit had been taking up. The main achievements here, according to him, were Gibraltar's continued financial services access to the UK and the ensuring that Gibraltar is not excluded from the withdrawal agreement or from the transition period. There has also been domestic legislation keeping him busy. And Michael Llamas was a link to the invited guest representing the Privy Council, having been Lord Lloyd Jones QC's pupil. He was delighted to be on the Rock and highlighted the importance of getting to know every jurisdiction.
There aren't that many appeals that come through to the Privy Council. There have been, I think, about 8 appeals in the last 9 years. But it's important that we should have these strong links with the jurisdictions. The great strength of the Privy Council is that it's a unifying influence in the common law. But it's also very important that we should have regard to local conditions, so that when we are hearing appeals, we understand the local conditions prevailing in the jurisdictions concerned.
So for the uninitiated, is there anything that we can read into the fact that so few cases actually get to the Privy Council? Is this a reflection perhaps on our courts and on the Court of Appeal here in Gibraltar?
Well, of course, you do have a very strong judiciary in Gibraltar, and you have a very strong Court of Appeal. It would be difficult to read too much into the number of cases which actually come through because of the limited size of the jurisdiction here by comparison with others. But it's an important jurisdiction, and it's important to us that we can reinforce these links. So I'm delighted to be here.
At today's ceremony, it was announced that Sir Peter Caruana QC would be the first chair of the new Legal Services Regulatory Authority. Changes also include the role of Director of Public Prosecutions, the vacancy for which was announced this week.